All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. How to actually speak so that people don't just hear you, but they really, truly listen. Let's dive in. You know this feeling, right? You're in a meeting, you've worked up the courage to share this amazing idea, you lay it all out, and then crickets. Just blank stares. Even worse, 5 minutes later, someone else says basically the same thing, and suddenly it's the best idea ever. It is so frustrating. But here's the thing, it's probably not about your idea at all. And this quote right here, this is the whole game. The problem isn't that your idea isn't important, it's that it isn't clear, compelling, and concise. The best idea in the world is totally useless if it's buried in a confusing or boring explanation. So, how do we fix that? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to cover how to grab attention in literally 10 seconds. Then how to build a message that actually sticks, how to deliver it like you mean it, and finally, how all this comes together to unlock the influence you deserve. Okay, let's jump right in. First step, grabbing their attention, and fast. Because honestly, those first few words you say, they're everything. They can be the difference between being heard and being completely ignored. And this is the magic number, 10. Just 10 seconds, that's it. That's the entire window you have to land your main point before people's minds start to wander. Our brains are just not wired for long, winding introductions. They crave clarity, and they want it now. And you can see the difference right here, plain as day. The one on the left. So the other day I was thinking about, nope, you've already lost the room. They're gone. But the one on the right, bam, we're losing leads. Here's how to fix it. You've stated the problem and promised a solution all in one breath. It's urgent, it's direct, and now everybody is listening. Okay, here's another trick, and it's so simple it's almost cheating. Just use their name. Seriously. Research from McKinsey shows that when we hear our own name, it's like a little alarm goes off in our brain that says, hey, pay attention. It forces us to tune in. I mean, just look at this. I have an idea. Okay, fine. But David, here's a strategy that could work. Well, now you're not just talking to the room, you're talking directly to David. It's personal, it's focused, and you can bet that David is paying 100% attention. Okay, so you've got their attention. Great, but that's only half the battle. Now, how do you make sure your idea actually sticks? Let's talk about crafting a message that people will remember long after you've stopped talking. The secret here is to make it easy for their brains. Think about it. Our brains are kind of lazy. They don't want to work extra hard to figure out what you're trying to say. So you have to do the work for them. Use short sentences, talk like you're just listing off a few bullet points, and stick to only the most important stuff. And here's another perfect side-by-side. The first one is just corporate fluff, right? I was considering the potential benefits. Snooze. The second one, though? That's an action plan. We need to simplify our workflow. Let's focus on these three things. It's clear, it's structured, and everyone in the room knows exactly what needs to be done. Now, this one is huge. Here's a tough truth. Nobody really cares that you think it's a great idea. Harsh, I know. What they do care about are their own problems and their own goals. So you have to stop focusing on you and start framing it for them. Don't say, I think this is great. Say, this will help you hit your targets. It's a total game changer. And get ready for this number, 22. According to research from Stanford, a story is 22 times more memorable than just a fact by itself. Why? Because stories light up our emotions and our imagination. They're not just data, they feel like experiences. So don't just throw numbers at people. Tell the story behind the numbers. Customer satisfaction dropped 10%. That's just an abstract fact. But last quarter, we had 100 frustrated customers. Wow, now you can picture them. You can feel their frustration. That's a story, and that is what gets people to act. All right, so you've got a killer opening and a message that sticks. You're almost there, but now comes the part that can make or break everything, how you say it. Your delivery can either supercharge your words or completely sabotage them. Here are two simple vocal tweaks that make a world of difference. When you get to your most critical point, just slow down and lower the pitch of your voice just a little. It subconsciously signals to everyone's brain, pay attention, this is important. 2. Just 2 seconds. Before you jump in to make your point, take a deliberate 2-second pause. 1, 2. It might feel like an eternity to you, but to your audience, it signals pure confidence. It says you're thoughtful and in command, not nervous and rushing to fill the silence. And that pause is just as powerful after you've made a big point. Say your thing and then just stop. That silence gives the idea weight. It creates space for it to sink in and land with so much more impact. It's incredibly powerful. And throughout all of this, please remember, this is not a monologue. It's a conversation. You have to be reading the room. Are people nodding along, leaning in, or are they starting to check their phones? If you feel you're losing them, it's your job to pull them back in. Pause, ask a question, check for understanding. So let's bring all this together. When you start using these techniques, you're not just learning a few public speaking tricks. What you're really doing is building a toolkit for genuine influence. So let's quickly recap our new toolkit. You've got the 10-second rule to hook them immediately. You're going to use their name to make it personal. You'll frame every idea for them, not for you. You'll tell a story to make it memorable. And you'll use the power of the pause to deliver with confidence. That's it. That's the formula. Because when you make it easy for other people to understand you, to get on board with you, and to support your ideas, well, that's not just good communication. That's power. So I'll leave you with this question. Which one of these techniques will you try in your very next meeting? Don't try to do them all at once. Just pick one. Maybe it's the 10-second rule, or maybe it's just pausing before you speak. Try it out. I think you'll be pretty surprised at what happens.